Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today in Under the Radar Review, I'm going to pick a movie from 1989. The 80s were a great time for movies. There was always a whole bunch to watch in the theater. There was no real streaming service at the time, so you had to go to the theater. That was your Netflix, was going to the theater. And there you had usually about 10 movies. They had every week, there was either sci-fi, western, horror, drama, comedy, you name it, it's available. And it was just continuous week after week, a bombardment of films. So sometimes a film would get lost in the shuffle. And this is one of those times. I'm going to pick a film that I think deserved a lot more box office success, a lot more love, and deserves to be rediscovered. I'm going to pick 1989's Black Rain. It's directed by Ridley Scott, best known for Alien and Blade Runner, Thelma and Louise, and Gladiator. Those are probably his biggest and most famous films. At that time, he was kind of having career troubles. His last two films, Legend and Someone to Watch Over Me, did not do as well at the box office as hoped for. He was looking for a hit. In comes Michael Douglas, who's known for Wall Street, Basic Instinct, Romancing the Stone. He is right now one of the hottest actors, most consistent box office actors of that time. He's looking to create a gritty kind of action film to go against the Stallones and the Schwarzeneggers, who are kind of doing over-the-top action. He wants to do something a little bit more grittier. They bring in Andy Garcia, Kate Capshaw. Please forgive me for if I butcher these names. These are Japanese actors. I mean no disrespect. It's just I can't pronounce them. We have Yusako Matsuda, and then you have Ken Takakura, who are also part of the cast. This is basically Michael Douglas plays a New York City cop who's under investigation from internal affairs. Him and his partner, played by Andy Garcia, kind of stop this Japanese gangster in New York City. They have to do like a prisoner exchange, so he gets off the heat from the internal affairs, kind of saving himself, making him look like a good cop. He goes there, loses Yukasako's character Sato, causing an international affair where the New York cops feel disgraced. The Japanese cop, this is like a no-no. You don't lose your prisoner. They're all about honor, respect, doing the job properly. And these foreigners have come in 2 minutes after landing on our soil, have lost our guy. So there's a lot of racial tension. There's racism in this movie. There's the social and economic issues dealing with Japan, who are supplying the US with a lot of the electronics at that time. That's brought up in the film. The film has a lot of action, drama, fish out of water kind of concept, with Michael Douglas and Andy Garcia stepping into a strange new world. So the acting across the board is phenomenal. You have Yusaku Masuda, who's playing the bad guy Sato. He is dying of cancer during the making of this film and doesn't let anybody know. He knows this is his last performance, so he is giving it everything he got in this character. He is playing intense. He plays sadistic. The look on his face caused me to have fear in the theater. I was scared when I saw this guy the first time. I just don't. This guy's the devil incarnate, but it was that good. Michael Douglas, who plays this broken, dirty cop, this racist cop, has a great character arc where he goes from broken to kind of redeeming himself. Because you have Andy Garcia, who plays his partner, and of course, in all these cop films, the younger partner, the inexperienced partner, usually gets killed, and this is what happens with Andy Garcia. But Andy Garcia plays such a lovable character, one of the most lovable sidekicks in any movie I've ever seen in the 80s, that when it happens, and this is a spoiler, so please, if you have not seen this movie, I'm sorry. It is from 1989, so he gets beheaded. I knew it was going to happen because you've seen this before. It's always the inexperienced young cop that gets killed and makes the older cop have to dig deep and redeem himself and redeem, the badge, the shield, the honor of being a cop and the honor of his partner. This is what happens to Douglas, and it kind of changes and creates this change in him, where now he sees that his ego, his racism, his blindness to the culture has caused the death of his best friend and partner. So this is where the story arc changes. He kind of, who he was treating Ken Takakura's character Masahiro very badly, kind of sees him now as he's his only lifeline in this other world that he's in. Ridley Scott, the way he shot this movie, the minute they walk into Japan, it reminds me exactly of Blade Runner. They are stepping into another world. They are literally a fish out of water. The minute they land, it looks different. You can see it. It is a whole different 360 from what they were in the US. And you can see that. The way he filmed it is phenomenal. The cinematography is beautiful. Hans Zimmer's soundtrack is stunning. You need to see and hear this movie one time in your life. Everybody's acting is phenomenal. I cannot fault anyone except Kate Capshaw. She's not given much to work with, but it's unfortunate because you could see there was something there. There is a longer version of the film. I'm sure she had a lot more to do and they just edited it down. So she's not given a lot, but she's still good in it. Works as a drama, works as an action film, works as a fish out of water, works as a social and economic storytelling about how Japan is, supplying everybody with the electronics and how that's brought up. Racism, being a corrupt cop, still trying to do the right thing, the great story arc in there. Everything works in this film. This is one of Ridley Scott's most underrated films. One of Michael Douglas's most underrated performances. So is Andy Garcia. He is so lovable in this film. I'm telling you, you need to search out this film just one time. It is a great film for everybody. But if you're one of these younger guys who are not into racism, it might hit you a little harder. But back in the 80s, that was part of the thing. It was prevalent in films. Now, not so much. But you owe yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor. I mean, go see this. Watch this somewhere. I believe it's on. I may be on Amazon if I remember correctly. It deserves a second look. The Blu-ray is fantastic. If you don't have it, I urge you. If you like Ridley Scott or Michael Douglas, this deserves to be in your collection wholeheartedly. This is one of the greatest performances of his time. His story arc just really works wonders. And like I said, the cinematography, the soundtrack, everything just is on point. This is one of Ridley Scott's most sharpest, most focused, most entertaining films of his career. So if you just think he did good with Alien and Blade Runner and Thelma and Louise and maybe Gladiator, I say The Martian is good too. This is an underrated gem in my opinion. Do yourself a favor, search it out. You will not be disappointed. This is Steven from the Aroundtable with my selection of this week for Under the Radar Review. It is Black Rain. And I'll be seeing you soon, guys.